Hello and welcome to Tip Top C# tutorials. In this video, we will get to know more about string versus string builder and constant versus read-only. Firstly, string type. It is a reference type in .NET Framework, as you may already know, and it is nothing but a zero index-based character array. If you are coming back from a C or C++ background, you know that string is nothing but a set of characters arranged in contiguous memory location called array. In C# or .NET, it is the same case. It's a character array starts at 0 index. And another peculiarity of string type is it's immutable, meaning that if you declare or initialize a string instance and if you're trying to change it, that's not literally possible. If you're trying to change the content of a string, it will initializes a new instance and allocates memory for that. So in effect, it's as good as initializing a new string. And it's a skill type. In .NET Framework, the string type cannot be inherited, but it can be extended using different techniques like extension methods or decorator pattern, which we will discuss in a separate video. Let's take a few code snippet and the internals. So when you define a string as one equal to tip top C# tutorials, and if you declare another string variable and assign the first string variable to it, it does not create a new instance because it's already initialized and allocated memory and placed the content there. It will point to the same memory location. Let's take another scenario. You're defining or you're updating the same S1 string variable to a different string, say new tutorial, and you are updating the s2 variable string to another change. These are different strings, and how does it get allocated in memory? As shown in the uh, picture below, the new tutorial string is allocated and another change string is allocated, and s1 and s2 is pointing to these two instances respectively. And the tip-top C# tutorials which we initialized earlier, that memory is still there, and it will be taken care by garbage collection to free up this memory. Okay. Coming to string builder, it is internally represented as a linked list of blocks. So there will be a character blocks of strings, and each character block is linked to each other by a linked list data structure. And what is the primary use case of this? It's in order for text processing. Let's say you have a lot of documents you have to keep on appending or building very large strings inside loops, then string builder is the right candidate. And why? It is mutable. We have discussed that string type is immutable. Let's say you have a for loop having thousands of 10,000s or a million uh, loop or iterations. Then if you put a string inside that, it will create uh, then a lot of instances according to the number of iterations. There is a reason we will be going for string builder whenever there is a heavy text processing involved in multiple loops. So effective for building string inside loops. That is a primary use case of string builder. Now let's take a look at the code base. So we take the input from console.readLine. This is a console-based applications, and we initialize a string builder instance here. And string builder provides a lot of append methods overloads. We can have append a string, or we can append a line, which will append a line break at the end of a given string, or we can use append format instead of making use of string.format. We can directly use append format and give the placeholders or argument index and then supply the parameters. Let's take a look at the output of this program. So it will be like this when you try to, you know, read the program and then try to print this console.write line of all the string builder instance. It will be like this. Now let's summarize the differences, or well, let's compare and contrast the string versus string builder. What are the properties which are being compared here is on the first column. Then we will see which is applicable for string and string builder. Reference type, yes, both are reference type, string and string builder. Mutable, string is not a mutable one as we discussed, it's immutable, and string builder is definitely mutable. Performance, no impact for shorter iterations for string. If let's say if you have a loop of 10 iterations, it's not a big deal for string type, whereas string builder is really effective for greater iterations more than 10 or even hundreds or thousands or 10,000s of million. Then it will not create a lot of memory allocations for each string being concatenated or each string being split. So those overhead will not be there for string builder. And use case, as we discussed, string is very effective for displaying strings, labels, constants, which will have a minimal uh, change to the string, which is not really uh, uh, causing any disadvantage because of the immutability. But whereas string builder is really for text processing where the immutable property is really beneficial. All right. Now, constant versus read only. So, what are the differences between constant keyword and read only keyword when used along with certain variables, right? So, constants are really used to initialize while declaring a particular constant, whereas read only keyword, if you define a read only variable, we can either initialize it particular instance of the class either in the declaration or in the constructor. And how about the assignment? So for constant, it is a compile time assignment, whereas for read-only, it is runtime assignment, meaning that you cannot use a new keyword along with the constant. So constant should be constant. For example, private constant string equal to uh, hello world, that is permissible, whereas private constant uh, my class m equal to new my class, that's not a valid scenario for constant because it's a runtime allocation. Whereas read-only is definitely a perfect fit for such a statement. So only constant values can be assigned, or read-only can have even instances assigned to it while declaring or at the constructor. And constant cannot have static modifier because constant is nothing but a replacement which will happen at the compile time. Okay, it's not a class instance as such. Okay, and read-only can have a static modifier, whether it is a private or public or whatever be it, we can have a static modifier for read only. Okay, that's about the differences between string builder and constant read only. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day.